Hello, everyone. This is the CrimsonCure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Awesome. This is why I don't change my settings, because I have been playing with the settings, the audio, and apparently OBS disconnected the microphone. It decided that my microphone was no longer a part of OBS as a piece of equipment. See, this is why I don't change my settings. When I get them right, they are awesome. Oh, it's robotic. What about now? Because that's why I was playing with that's what I was playing with, the voice changer. Is that better? Is this a little bit better? Because I have a voice changer and I was playing with it, but I can't hear it for myself. It only has to be other people can hear it. Awesome. Okay, I just needed to make sure that that was off. All right, so we're back, people. Hey, how you doing? To everyone, on to better things. Angela C, Tiger Divine, Bishop, hey Sheep, hey Fit, hey Sherry, hey D Remedy. It's better? Okay. Because I don't know why it has an echo. I turned the gain down. Hopefully this is better. I didn't even turn the gain up to begin with. But I might as well tell you what I was doing. I have a Stream Deck. And with Stream Deck, you can download a voice modifier. And you can do like silly voices, robotic voices, and all this different kind of stuff, right? But you have to change all of your settings in order to get the voice mod to actually work for you, which is what I did. And then that disconnected the mic from OBS. I don't know why. So, a little wonky, but that's probably why you hear me as almost robotic, auto-tune-ish. I actually have it where the voice thing turns off when I'm not touching it. So I'm not real sure why it would be on, because I don't have it on automatic. I have it only when like I hold the button. It's supposed to change my voice, and when I let the button go, it's, not supposed to do that. Okay. So, but as long as you guys can hear me, I just want to double check. 1, if you can hear me clearly. 2, if you cannot. 3, if I still sound stupid. Okay. Tiger says it's all good. Okay. As long as I'm clear, then it's fine. All right. So, ladies, what are we talking about today? We are going to talk about how we go into relationships needing therapy and then wanting our men to be our therapists. I still sound funny, Bishop? That worries me that you still hear me in a funny voice. Because I actually have it turned off. I've been had it turned off, actually. I turned it off before I started the first stream. The crazy part is I can't hear myself. So I don't know what it sounds like. But in any case, that still kind of worries me. But in any case, how we go into these relationships wanting our men to be our therapists and then wanting them to be extremely patient with us as we work through personal issues while in relationship with them. Because this is often a really crazy type of dynamic. And the reason why I'm addressing it today is because it serves to break down a lot of relationships. Okay? A lot of relationships get broken down because we want them to be super patient with all of our dysfunction and we won't clear up when we're not in relationships. This is especially true, ladies, when we are the type of women to jump from man to man in a so-called relationship, like the serial dating, or, you get a man and then you're only with him for 6 months and then you're only not with a boyfriend for like 2 weeks. And then you jump into another situation and then that lasts for a month. And then you know how it goes. And I'm addressing it because this is a part of heal before we build. We really need to address our own issues and not have to make other people who don't have an investment of time or history with us to make them do it. I want to get to a point where you understand how unfair it is to make other people work with you when you won't work with you. It's unfair. It's unfair to that man, whoever he may be, whatever might be going on. It's very unfair to him. Okay? And I need you guys to see that. I need the ladies to see that. Because a lot of times you go from man to man, you tote kids with you, you don't get over past issues, past pain, hurt, disappointment, heartbreak. You don't give yourself a moment to breathe. And if you are the type of lady to go from man to man in these so-called relationships and having these boyfriends and you can't tolerate time alone, what that tells me is that you have a lot of healing to do because you don't like your own company. And if you don't like your own company, then how would you expect your man, future man, potential man, whatever, to like your company? You don't like your company. You have to be willing, able, ready, and actively working on yourself and your issues prior to relationships. This is why these men are leaving, and this narrative in this country where we live teaches us to automatically put the blame on men no matter what's going on. And that's really where we fail. Because as long as we're doing this, we never do this. As long as we are telling men that they're wrong, they're dirty, they're dogs for leaving us in our most vulnerable moment. But you have to think about, you've been in your most vulnerable moment for like 5 years, sis. When are you not in a vulnerable moment? When are you not in a vulnerable moment? When are you not in a state where someone needs to handle you with kid gloves? This speaks to major work that actually needs to be done that you aren't doing, that you're avoiding, probably because it's painful. And it may be painful. A lot of times the healing process is almost as bad as what caused you to need healing in the first place. Let's just be real with that. Sometimes the healing process is almost as painful as the thing that made us need healing in the first place. You break a bone, you break a leg or an arm. That pain is excruciating. You go to the hospital to get it set, guess what they're going to do? They're going to reposition that broken bone that's already hurting. It already swole up. It's already discolored. It's already probably breached the skin, whatever. The doctor's going to sit there and reset that bone. And that's going to be just as excruciating as it getting broken the first time. But you go to the doctor to get it set because you know that if you don't, you could run into a myriad of issues with this broken arm. If you don't get it seen to, it can get infected. Start clotting. You don't know what kind of damage just got done to this limb. So the fear of the further damage actually makes you overcome the fear of the pain of getting this arm healed. You'll go to that hospital and cry and bite on something while they set your arm and set that bone back and then treat it and then cast it and then whatever else they got to do. Exactly, rumen and melanoid. If it heals wrong, then break it again. If you allow it to stay broken in that condition and your arm starts healing wrong to where you can't really use it, it's not really operable, and all of these sorts of things. If you go to the doctor and start complaining and say, I broke my arm 2 years ago, the bone mended, but it still really hurts because it healed wrong and I just can't really use my arm. They're going to say, okay, well, in order to make it heal right, we're going to have to re-break that bone in the same spot. Now, I don't know the process of re-breaking it. They probably put it in something and make a machine break it. Just my imagination. And then they're going to set it again. So you're going to go through a world of hurt before you can actually come out on the other side and say, I have the full functionality of my arm. And I went through all kinds of trials and tribulations to get it back this way. Healing of all types can be just as dramatic. Yeah, that did sound rough, didn't it, Sherry? Break it and then set it again like, ooh, Lord, you almost got to cut it off for me. It's the amputation for me, sis. Just go on, just lop it off. I don't need my arm because I done messed it up so bad. But this is how a lot of us are going through life, sis. This is how we're going through these relationships. Can I get the likes up, please? I got 50 people. Yay! Can I get 50 likes? I got 35 likes. Can please get the likes up? But in any case, this is how we're going through these relationships, sis. You're not allowing things to heal. They healing wrong. What is healing wrong in this sense? When you have a lot of coping mechanisms that are dysfunctional, that's healing wrong. The analogy for re-breaking it is having to unlearn the dysfunctional coping mechanism and then relearn a functional one. And for as much trauma as we grow up with as women, come on, we know we need this type of healing. We know we need this. We grow up with too much trauma. Maybe we were abused at home. Maybe we just didn't have a good childhood. We just didn't have a good life. We just didn't have nothing. That needs a heal. And then we get old enough to date and we start trying to use these relationships themselves as escape hatches. The escape hatch relationship. The relationship you use to escape the reality of you. Instead of dealing with the reality of you. Simultaneously, you want whoever you're in a relationship with to take all of this time and energy out to understand where you're coming from. You can't do that. You can't lay that type of responsibility on somebody you met 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 4 months ago. It's hard on that person. Because they don't know you. So they don't have any rapport outside of the one that you're just now building with them. They're not going to, 9 times out of 10, they are not going to spend all of this time and energy, mental energy, spiritual energy, trying to figure out what's going on with you and then try to fix you so you'll be okay for them. It's too much. And listen, I know how it is to have to address your own dysfunction and really have to address it. No running, no hiding, none of that. It's painful, especially when you didn't really think of yourself a certain type of way, but you have to come to the reality that that's probably so. There were perspectives of myself that I didn't have. I just didn't think that I was this bad in this area or this bad in that area. I didn't think so. Overall, I thought I was a good person. But in area over here or area over there, needs a lot of work. And it can crush you if you let it. If you allow the concept of actually facing down those demons to crush you, it will. It will. Those demons can't wait to crush you. They're chomping at the bit to do it because they've been chipping away at you for a long time. And they've been damaging your relationships. They've been damaging your personal market value. They've been damaging it. The relationship that you have with yourself suffers greatly. Mine did for a very long time. I've told this story before. I'm not going to get back into it, but I did. Thank you for the PayPal. Thank you. Somebody sent me a Cash App, but they sent me some Bitcoin. Thank you. I actually appreciate that. I actually appreciate you sending me some Bitcoin because I got some Bitcoin and I'm like, okay, maybe I should get some more Bitcoin. Thank you. And thank you, Mogul Maze. You always come through with the support. And Sherry is very correct. She says the truth causes a crossroad and we have to decide to grow or continue to waddle in the dysfunction. Most choose the latter. And I chose the latter a few times. It was just too hurtful. Come to the crossroad and the dysfunction and the defeat is comfortable. It hurt, but it's comfortable because you don't know what success and not having that dysfunction even feels like. You don't know. So it's almost like the devil you do over the devil, deal with the devil you know over the devil you don't. Because you don't know what this other side of this fork in the road holds for you. You know what the pain feels like. Even though it hurt and it's dreadful, You'll pick it. I've been there. You'll keep going right back over to that pain. It's familiar. It's familiar. And human beings are creatures of habit, whether it's a bad habit or a good habit. We are creatures of habit. We will keep doing the same thing. I don't care how destructive it is. We can watch ourselves swirling down the tube, and we'll still choose the comfortable pain. But when we don't address these things, sis, and we go into these relationship escape hatches, this is where a lot of failure comes in at. This is why you lose your man. This is sometimes why you lose your children. Because you won't heal well enough not to pass on that same dysfunction and that same pain to them. And expecting these other people that don't really know you like that or love you like that to invest all of this to pull you out, that's a mistake, sis. It's a mistake. We need to be able to heal before we build. How do we do that? With the 10 life values, specifically the internal 5. Specifically addressing our spiritual value in whatever way you do that. I chose Islam. Other people may not choose a religion at all. Some people are Christian. Some people are Buddhist. Some people are just spiritual. Whatever that looks like for you. You need to address your spiritual values. Sit down and write down what is the code that you live by. Who do you answer to about how you live? About how you think? About how you treat others? About how you treat yourself? Who do you answer to about how you treat your children and how you treat just everybody else in your life? Deal with your health value. If you have health issues that are physical, you got to start trying to deal with them, sis. Running away, hiding from them, hoping they go away, does not work. It does not work. Burying yourself in it and convincing yourself to accept what's going on with you physically or mentally or emotionally does not help. I waddled in kind of literally being overweight. And at one point, I just gave up. I'll never be thin again. I'll never look good again. I might as well just eat what I want and do what I want. Because no amount of exercise or dedication or anything is going to work anyway. I'm just going to be one of them big old fat women that can cook real good, but she ain't got no man. And I wasn't going to be a nice one. I was going to be one of them bitter ones that knew she should have done something 6-7 years ago and didn't. I tried to ignore it. It didn't go away. It just got worse. I tried to ignore the mental state that I was in that even had me eating like that. I tried to ignore that. That didn't work until I sat down and confronted myself with, why are you doing this? Why do you do this? That's a question that we need to ask ourselves, ladies. Why do we do the things that we do to ourselves, to other people? Just like Sheep did earlier, I'm going to give my sisters some homework. Because a wise man once told me, what gets measured gets done. And I need my sisters to write down things that they do that they know hurt themselves or hurt others, other people that they claim to love or care for. And then I need them to write down, why do they do that? The real reason why they do it. See, I had to come to grips with why I was in the mental state I was in that caused me to gain weight like that and then not care. One of the things I had to come to grips with is that I was angry at my husband. And it was not a justified anger. Because what was going on in our relationship was not his fault. He was just as much of a victim of it as I was. More so, because it was happening directly to him. But I had to come clean with myself and say, you are angry with him, whether it's rational or not, whether it's logical or not. You are angry with him. And I had to give myself permission to be mad with him. Now, I didn't tell him that, but I had to tell me that, so I could start getting over it. I was mad about how our lives had ended up. I had gotten upset about that. Not at all how I envisioned. That's how I learned to get over like grief and stuff. Not over it, but get through it. Over it is not the proper term. I don't think you get over grief. You just walk through grief. I had to allow myself to be mad with him again for passing away. Something else that wasn't his fault and that wasn't logical. I had to allow myself to be mad that he was gone. And then work through that. Why are you mad? You know it's nothing he could have done about that, right? Of course. I'm sharing this because these are the things that we need to actually do. I'm trying to give you some practical steps. Write down the things that you do to hurt yourself and hurt other people. And then in another column, I need you to write why you do it. The real reason. It's nothing that you even have to show somebody else. Write the real reason why you do it. And then one by one, try to check them things off, because the reasons are gonna fall into one of them 10 life values. It's gonna fall into one of the 10. It might even fall in a couple of categories at once. This is why I share the 10 life values with you, because it is a powerful tool for measuring out what's going on with us. What's really going on with us. What gets measured gets done. We got to really look at what's going on with us, sis. Why we keep tripping over the same rock over and over and over. Why? Why we keep running our head into the same wall? That doesn't make any sense. There's a reason, though, why you do it. There's a reason why we've all done it. Because as irrational as my anger was at his passing, when I got down underneath that irrationality, there was a reason why I was mad. And the reason why I was mad is because I was alone and didn't want to be. And I was angry that he had left me here to fend for myself. That's why I was mad. So you can admit that I do this thing and it don't really make no logical sense. But dig deeper than that. There's a reason underneath that. There's a reason underneath it that we have to face. And we gotta face it. And it's ugly. It's not beautiful. There's nothing easy about it either. Nothing easy. I need you to do this homework, ladies. Write it down. You ain't got to show nobody. But you have to see it. Sometimes it helps to see it in black and white. This is what I do to destroy myself. These are the things that I do to destroy my relationships. These are the things that I do to hurt my children. These are the things that I do to hurt my family. And we have to be real, because if we can't be real with ourselves, it's no point. It's no point. You can't be real with nobody else. You can't be all on Facebook talking about you keeping it 100, because you're not. You got to write down, you got to look at why I can't get no further. And I'm putting the onus on us as individuals for our own lives. We cannot shift this burden to other people in a relationship setting because it makes it toxic. Okay? If we can't handle it ourselves or in our private lives, you might need some professional help. Trust me, psychiatrists have heard it all. These are the same people that are sitting and listen to a paranoid schizophrenic talk. They have heard it all. Sometimes you just got to say it. Because if you can't acknowledge your problem, you cannot solve it. If we can't acknowledge the necessity for healing, we cannot be healed. This is why you can't build with no man. And I understand the temptation of waiting until you get into a relationship, only because men bring that order. They bring that system to you. And deep down inside, sis, that's what we be craving. Somebody to bring us some order to our chaotic mind. And I'm not saying our chaotic mind as a put down. I'm not putting us down. I'm saying that a lot of times we live in that world. And it's just thing after thing after thing. And we don't have anything that grounds. This is why the spiritual value is so important. Because you need something that will anchor you when there are no men around to do it. That's where the temptation comes in at. For wanting a man to do that. To bring us the order that we can't quite bring to ourselves. But this is why, again, the spiritual value is so important. This is why it's number 1 of the 10 life values, because it's foundational. You don't have integrity because you don't have a good foundation. So you're not operating in your life with integrity. When we use the word integrity to describe a structure, an actual physical structure, a person will say the integrity of this building is good, or the structural integrity is bad. And when the structural integrity is bad, that usually means the foundation upon which it was built is no good. We got to tear it down to the root. Your structural integrity is bad because your spiritual foundation, your spiritual value is no good. So you don't have integrity. This is why the other 9 values are built upon a strong spiritual value because the integrity of your life depends upon the integrity of your foundation. That's why your life is in chaos. The structural integrity of your life is bad. It could fall any minute. And it does fall. The roof falls, the plumbing springs a leak, all kinds of stuff. And when you get into these relationships with your life in shambles like that, you're trying to hire this man to come put band-aids on a gaping hole in the roof. Instead of saying, okay, I need a whole new roof. That's the equivalent. We have to see to the structural integrity of our lives, ladies. We must. Too much depends upon who we are and what we do as women. So much depends on it. So much depends on it. We are more powerful than we think. Because you made it through all of that craziness in your life and you still here. You're powerful. But we got to be able to harness it properly. So we can benefit off of that power. So other people can benefit off of that power. We have endurance as women. Never let nobody tell you that femininity is weak, because it is not. Women have endured many, many things and stood tall at the end of it. We endure tragedy. We endure heartbreak. We endure disappointments. We endure sacrifices. We endure. Femininity is not weak. Feminism is weak. Femininity is not weak at all. Because if it were weak, the strongest of men would not look to it for anything. They wouldn't look to it for support. They wouldn't look to the feminine for that quiet power. The power that don't gotta say nothing. It's not heard, it's felt. We have to reclaim this power, sisters. We can only do that when we shore up all of these places and pieces of our lives. We have to. It is imperative that we do. So with that being said, I am going to start wrapping this up. But before I do, this show has been brought to you by A Game, which is a male herbal solution that addresses his mental energy, his vitality, his strength, and his libido. So the guys in the chat, go ahead and click into the description box and click the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can also get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. That's KENDRA, the number 10. And ladies, I know that you have sons, brothers, husbands, fathers, boyfriends, whomever in your life that would greatly benefit and appreciate. So you too can click into the description box and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase of A-Game. Thank you, Brother Zeke. So feminism, mocking masculine traits to prove or augment one's femininity. Make that make sense. Exactly, Brother Zeke, exactly. But with that, I am going to go ahead and sign off. Thank everyone for coming through, for supporting, for all the cash apps and the super chats. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another CrimsonCure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.